Yes, yes, you read the title right. Housing went up $80,000 in a month if you lived in the city of Toronto. Is this the melt up? Is this the calm before the storm? Is this the economic perfect storm we've been talking about? Or is it just another dumpster fire that we've talked about on the show before many times? Well, what's happening? Well, a lot. Let's get over to it and find out what is causing this situation. So here it is. Toronto real estate prices rose $80,000 last month as sellers surged 78%. That's a very odd to see that. This is from our friends over at Better Dwelling. Very odd to see that when prices do go up and selling goes up at the same time. Usually you have prices go down and selling go up, right? Or selling go down, prices go up, and that's supply and demand, right? So Greater Toronto real estate prices is still a tight market, but all of a sudden, it has a lot more inventory. The data shows prices ripped higher in February. Positive growth in news. It didn't just end there, though, as the market actually saw annual growth accelerated. Oddly enough, this occurred as inventory levels improved dramatically. So let's go over here and look at the Toronto benchmark price. So you could pretty much pick up the same homes that you're seeing here in Greater Toronto or Toronto area. You could probably pick up in Alabama or Georgia and Florida for less than $200, maybe $150,000. But the same homes in Canada, in Toronto, where it's cold 9 months of the year, is pushing 1.34 million. So there it is in February 20. So Greater Toronto benchmark price change. City of Toronto TRREB. There it is, right? TRREB. Sorry. There it is, right there. Let me just get that so you can see it up there. So there's the price change right there. It's very, very easy to follow. You can see on the graph here. I wish they could go back decades. Toronto real estate sales had the second best February ever. But how is that even possible? Did the war that started in Ukraine end the COVID? Or what's going on here? Or what are people starting to figure out? Or I can't really talk too much about on this channel, but on Mike of the Night we talk about in-depth things that we're not allowed to talk about here. Let's keep it on topic here. So let's go to the channel time machine so I can give you your answer. So there it is right there. This video says it all. Chinese housing wave tsunami has hit Toronto and Seattle. So what happened was when Vancouver put the foreign buyers tax on to target foreign investors, mainly from China, this is videos from 5 years ago, and yes, it has hit. Hope you bought last year. Chinese money is leaving Vancouver and heading for Seattle and Toronto. In both those cities, if you look at Seattle and Toronto from 5 years ago, that's when the housing tsunami took off. And we talked about it quite a bit on the channel here. So Toronto needs money laundering 4 years ago. Mark my words, investors will be going after lower-end properties, and that's what happened in Vancouver. Condo speculators, Toronto, Vancouver. Toronto real estate is seeing a massive flood of inventory. We saw that 4 years ago when they were tinkering with rates and raising rates because America was raising rates. And massive Vancouver-Toronto housing crash 4 years ago. Numbers don't make sense. We'll see a lot of homeless in 2019 to 2022. Vancouver ain't Toronto and Toronto ain't Vancouver because Vancouver's been bought out by Chinese investors way back. I mean, we're going back to like about 1993, right? When Canada closed immigration for Europeans. Canada would be in a recession without money laundering. So this is why we're in this situation. And when you have billions of dollars, this is what they got. They closed the money laundering investigations in Canada because it was going to imprison a lot of people. Canada wants more Chinese students and tourists. And then again, they admit they want to bring in 500,000 per year. Don't go to your 500,000 per year. It doesn't show on immigration. It's investments, investors coming to Canada. This does not show under Canada immigration. So when you go to immigration stats to send me the link and say there's no Chinese coming to Canada, this is different. It's a different. So what happened? Well, Canada's won the money laundering wars. So we got 43.6 billion from Hong Kong. Started in 2019 because Canada was hoping that China will start their problems in Hong Kong. So Canada worked hard to get in this money to keep our housing going up and are impoverishing our middle class. And a lot of that money majority of it is laundered. It's actually 243 billion now from what they know that's coming in from Hong Kong. And now what is Canada doing? Well, Canada is working on getting Taiwan in. Canada starts talks with investment agreement with millionaire Taiwans to bring them into Canada. And if you think I'm kidding, I ain't joking. 60 million Chinese want to make Canada their home in the next 2 years. What now? So it goes in to say they're more affluent, they're highly educated, and basically they're better than we are here in Canada that built the infrastructure. And as long as Canada keeps deporting more and more Portuguese from Canada, and I think that would make more room for people to come in. I wasn't kidding when I told you China is an autonomous region of Canada. I wasn't kidding when I told you. We're in this situation mainly because of money laundering. Billions of dollars laundered through Canadian real estate. Layered. I don't even think it was layered. It was just brought in, placed by the bank. Because Australia, Westpac, They tightened their money laundering laws in Westpac in Australia, one of their second or third major banks there. They got, I think it was 21 or 26 million money laundering breaches in 1 year from China. So Australia has been tightening down on Chinese takeover, but Canada is just opening its doors, fizzling out the middle class of Canada, destroying families, creating fake narratives in the news, but you have to watch on Mike in the Night because we can't talk about it here. Creating fake narratives in the news. Of course housing is going to go up $180,000, $60,000 in a month. Because limited amount of space, supply and demand, works with this too, especially when people are laundering and dumping their money on Canadian shores. People become wealthy overnight on paper, but it turns our cities into empty shells. And it leaves people. Now, I have people that have been watching my channel since 2010. And they tell me, Mike, I was making fun of you in 2010 when I was 16 years old. I was making fun of you, telling you you had no idea what you were talking about and blah, blah, blah. And housing, real estate always makes corrections. Okay? Fast forward. We're in 2022. And those people now, from 2010 that were 16 or 26, they're 26, 27, 28 years old. They're still living with their parents. And they're normalizing living with your parents now forever. Back in the day, back in the late 90s, if you were 16, 17 years old and you still live with your parents, people would look at you like something was wrong with you. But people don't understand that. If you told the common average person that you could work at Food City in 1982 packing groceries for people and taking their groceries through their cars for people, you could do that and still pay off a house in 4 or 5 years at 8, 9, 10% interest rates. People will look at you, that's impossible. It was possible because wages were tied, income was tied to mortgages. Mortgages and housing, wages were tied to housing. Plain and simple. People lost their jobs, people forfeited on their homes, and the story goes on, and they adjust rates, and they bring things back, and the economy resets. Unfortunately, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK, and the blue states of America, that's what you're seeing in California, have become places for illegal dirty money to be dumped. And that has been causing the major problems. They're saying, oh, but this sickness for 2 years ruined it. No. It was already happening before. And I'm going to make it my life's mission to prove to people that we were in a lot worse position than we are today in 2019 when they pulled the trigger on the pandemic. So I want to make myself really clear of that. And I said that on the channel in 2019. So I want to make this very clear to you guys that it's going to be a very bumpy road ahead. And things aren't going to get any better. They're going to raise interest rates, and that's going to impoverish Canadians that can't afford their payments, because with more and more people bringing in money, they don't care about you, and they never did. And that's why the education system has been the biggest fraud. I mean, ask Hillary Clinton about it. She'll tell you. Anyways, lots of love, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hopefully a bigger channel, like recently, a lot of bigger channels have been taking a lot of the content I've been talking about and kind of running with it and looking like heroes. Be a hero if you're a big channel. Get this out there. Get the message out there. That's what I'm about. It's about informing people. And we've been doing it for over 10 plus years. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Mike Martin's here, signing off at the Merritt Toys and Games. I have spoken.